Welcome to Rising Media. India is standing at a very sensitive economic turning point. Recently, Narendra Modi once again stressed the importance of reducing oil consumption and limiting excessive gold purchases. At first glance, this may sound like a simple economic appeal, but if we look deeper, this statement directly connects to inflation, India's import burden, the weakening rupee, work from home culture, and the financial pressure faced by the Indian middle class. Because India is one of the world's largest importers of crude oil and gold. Every year, India spends massive amounts of dollars importing petroleum products and gold from other countries. When global oil prices rise, India's import bill explodes. And when citizens heavily invest in gold instead of productive sectors, money gets locked away instead of circulating in the economy. Now imagine this situation. If crude oil prices rise globally, petrol and diesel prices inside India automatically rise. Transportation costs increase. Food delivery costs rise. Grocery prices rise. Flight tickets become expensive, manufacturing becomes costly, even electricity generation in some sectors becomes expensive. Slowly, inflation spreads everywhere. The middle class suffers the most because salaries do not rise at the same speed as expenses. This is where Modi's statement becomes important. The government wants Indians to reduce unnecessary fuel consumption because lower fuel demand can reduce pressure on imports. And one major factor that silently increased fuel usage in urban India is the return to office culture after the work from home era. During the pandemic years, lakhs of IT employees worked from home. Daily commuting reduced drastically. Fuel consumption in cities dropped. Traffic reduced. Families spent less on petrol, tolls, eating outside, and vehicle maintenance. Many middle class families actually saved money during that phase. But now, many companies are calling employees back to offices. Daily travel has restarted. Millions of bikes, cars, cabs, and buses are back on roads. Fuel demand has sharply increased again. For a country that imports most of its crude oil, this creates additional economic pressure. So, indirectly, when the Prime Minister says use less oil, it also raises a bigger national debate. Should India continue encouraging full office attendance when remote and hybrid work models can save fuel, reduce pollution, and lower urban stress? For the middle class, this issue is deeply personal. A software employee in Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Pune, or Gurugram may spend 6,000 rupees to 15,000 rupees monthly just on commuting. Add rising food prices, rent, school fees, EMIs, and medical expenses, suddenly the middle class savings model starts collapsing. Now let's talk about gold. Gold has emotional value in Indian culture. Weddings, festivals, family security. Gold is deeply connected to Indian society. But economically, excessive gold imports create a problem. India imports huge quantities of gold using foreign currency reserves. This increases the trade deficit. When imports become much higher than exports, the rupee weakens against the dollar. And once the rupee weakens, imported products become even more expensive, especially fuel. That again hits the middle class through inflation. So Modi's message is not only about personal spending habits, it is actually linked to India's macroeconomic stability. The government wants citizens to invest more in financial assets, manufacturing, startups, digital economy, and productive investments instead of storing wealth mainly in gold. But here comes the criticism. Many middle class Indians argue that people buy gold because they don't fully trust long term economic stability. Gold becomes a safety net during uncertainty. Similarly, people rely on private vehicles because public transportation in many cities is still inadequate or overcrowded. Critics also say that instead of asking citizens to reduce consumption, the government should focus more on improving urban infrastructure, increasing public transport quality, strengthening remote work policies, and creating more affordable living conditions. For ordinary Indians, however, the reality remains simple. People want lower inflation, stable jobs, affordable living, and financial security. If fuel prices rise, middle class budgets break. If work from home disappears, expenses rise further. If gold becomes unaffordable, traditional savings patterns also get disturbed. That is why this debate is no longer just economic, it has become social, political, and deeply personal for millions of Indian families. And perhaps that is exactly why this statement from Modi is creating such a strong discussion across the country. For more updates, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.